Hey there and welcome back to The Sims 3. My name is Pete, it's been a while, but today we complete another episode of this attempt to fully complete The Sims 3 World Adventures. Last time we left off, we completed our first lifetime wish by advancing Mr. William Picking to visa level 3 here in Shawnly Sims, and we also had the old man experience some romance with a local. His young adventuring protege Fabien, meanwhile, assisted the local nectary with nectar production and a deep dive into Shawnly Sims' nectar history. To complete this last quest here in France, we will first need to travel to Egypt, so today we will finish the rest of our adventure here in Shawnly Sims and clean up a few loose ends. And we begin with Uni going on an early morning run. Her lifetime wish may be to attain the Grandmaster rank in the martial arts skill, but we also want to complete the requirements for the physical perfection lifetime wish with her, which include reaching level 10 in the athletics skill. Her new lover Sanat, meanwhile, starts the day collecting and will do so for the next few hours. The goal here is to grab one of each unique gem and metal that can be found in Shawnly Sims to truly have a complete collection. This then brings us to Fabien, who will go tomb exploring today, beginning with an unmarked location between the river and the cemetery here. The entrance is blocked by two massive boulders that we can destroy with Pangu's axe to reveal stairs leading down below. Both William and Uni will meet up with Fabien at this location. William can go fishing here to catch a few more frogs as bait, while Uni will help Fabien in the tomb underneath. Now, the first room they come across here features 5 pressure plates, but only 4 pushable statues, so we need to position one in such a way that it activates the 2 adjacent plates here simultaneously. This too, by the way, gives Uni some much-needed experience in the athletics skill. Eventually then, the puzzle is solved and a new door opens up in the starting room. Going through, we find a corridor with another floor tile at the end, as well as a treasure chest requiring a heart-shaped keystone to be opened. Now, I might be overlooking something, but as far as I know, there is no such keystone in this tomb, and we also don't have a spare one anywhere in our inventory. So let's have Fabien quickly teleport himself over to the market and purchase a skeleton keystone from special merchant Paraline Abarou. For the cost of 400 ancient coins, this one-time use item can now take the shape of a heart and open the chest, although in hindsight the loot inside seems not really worth the hassle. Either way, up next we activate the pressure plate and open yet another door, go through and find ourselves in a spot where Uni's Xenoport comes in handy. She has been meditating for a while now and can now use this ability to teleport into this little corner here to interact with the hole in the wall that was just opened up by moving the statue. This reveals a hidden chamber with some grapevines inside. This tomb is actually called Tuatha's Garden, and it is one of the few places in France where you can collect rare grapes and insects. The way onwards is then unlocked by pushing the statue onto the second pressure plate, and while this treasure chest here already seems like the end of the tomb, it is not. Still, the unique Dropa stone is valuable enough to fulfill a wish for Fabien, before the two of them now head back into the starting chamber and through the main door, if you will. Behind it, only another treasure chest with ancient coins inside, but opening it reveals a secret staircase. Let's head down there to see where it leads. In the meantime, a quick jump over to William. He has switched fishing spots after stocking up on frogs. Up next, we want to acquire 10 snails, and then, using the frogs as bait, 10 crawfish to stock our eventual home pond with the 3 new types of fish available here in Shawnly Sims. Fabien, meanwhile, finds himself one level further down with a pressure plate surrounded by statues. Looks easy, but only 2 of them can be moved, and to activate the plate we need to clear some space. Eventually it's done, and we can go through the door here, first collecting a diamond on the left side, and then taking care of some steam traps in the corridor further up ahead. Uni will shortly work on the chest to the right side here. For those steam traps, we first want to push the statue on top of the first to deactivate it, and then push it back onto the floor switch to disable the second one and clear the path ahead. We jump to Sanat for a second because I just spotted a rare butterfly in the marketplace. This two-tailed pasha butterfly is one of 3 unique species found in Shawnlee Sims, and now we have one to put on display back home. Moving on inside the tomb, Fabien takes the stairs to the next level down and finds another grapevine at the foot of it, and while he harvests, we switch back over to Sanat once more, who has now finished collecting all unique gemstones that can be found in Shawnlee Sims, and will now order a valuable heart-shaped cut for each one. Sure, we could go cheaper, but this gives some extra value to our eventual collection. For Fabien, the next task is now a room with a series of traps and floor switches. The premise here is rather simple. Step onto the switch, deactivate the trap ahead, but activate the previous one. Rinse and repeat until we reach the end, where a hole in the wall reveals a hidden switch to unlock the path ahead. Nothing hides underneath the boulders here, but beyond, a secret wall panel gives way into another small underground garden section. There is also another secret door in this corridor. We'll take care of that later though. For now, we want to finish the tomb before everyone gets too tired. Sanat and William already returned to the Nectary for some sleep, but Fabien and Uni keep going for a little while longer. Now, after using the Eye of Horus to get back out of the trapped room easily, Fabien can now take the stairs back up and investigate yet another suspicious section of wall. Uni is still meditating, as you can see, and with good reason. More on that in a second. With plenty of treasure collected from a chest behind the secret door, Fabien now moves along the corridor, and we soon discover that the pressure plate here is inaccessible from this side. This is unfortunately a rather frequent issue with some tombs in the World Adventures expansion, and I'm fairly sure it is not intended. Either way, this is what Uni has been preparing for. Let's use Xenoport again to circumvent the issue and clear the path ahead. Using the Eye of Horus, Fabien can then join back up with her, and we can explore the tomb further. Ancient coins and treasure on the left, as well as a thankfully harmless steam trap and a pushable statue on the right. Standing on the floor switch brings up another set of stairs in the main chamber, and we'll go to that shortly. For now, Fabien can gain his first level in the athletics skill by pushing through yet another hidden passage to get his hands on a massive pile of ancient coins. At the bottom of the stairs then we find a green pool of water, and of course we'll have the brave Uni dive in head first. Swimming through an underground tunnel, Uni now reaches what truly looks like a magnificent secret underground garden, and completes the tomb, just like Fabien, who joins up with her seconds later. William is also already well rested again, and can bamf over there too. This now actually completes his 5th tomb in Shawnlee Sims, only one more to go until we complete the game's 2nd lifetime wish with him. Now, as Fabien and Uni head to a conveniently placed tent nearby to get some rest, William starts digging up relics, and quickly finds something valuable to complete a very lucrative wish worth 11,000 lifetime happiness points. He is joined by Sanat a few moments later, who now also fulfills his wish to complete a tomb and can begin collecting the treasure lying around down here, plenty of gemstones and money bags. There are also a few more puzzles to solve. The first one here requires a bit more strategic pushing of statues, and eventually unlocks a door where we can then repeat the same procedure. This in turn unlocks another door, and surprise, surprise, behind this one even more statues need to be pushed. That takes a little while, but eventually everything is in place, and the chamber's big exit opens up. Through here and up a few sets of stairs, and all of a sudden Sanat finds himself back on the surface, on this little island in the river here. I think we visited this spot once before by swimming over. This here is the official way to get there. Now, one thing we still need to grab is this tomb's unique sigil, and this one is actually a little tricky, because in order to find it, we need to first find this very well hidden floor switch here. Afterwards, we can head down the stairs, push around a few more statues, and loot the sigil from the chests. Then we can send William to the surface as well, where he can now continue his fishing endeavor. The river thankfully has snails and crawfish too. In the meantime, Uni has rested for long enough and can now actually go back through the underground tunnel inside the dive well. There are a few places still left to explore in the main section of the tomb, like this door over here, for example. Behind it, we can collect 2 valuable gemstones after passing the steam trap. Quick jump to Sanat then, because the rarest of all French butterflies has just appeared on the island. The glowy fly only has a very limited number of spots it can be caught in, and this is one of them. And luckily, Sanat succeeds on the first attempt, and with that, our collection is now complete. Back inside the tomb, Uni is in the process of once again bypassing those consecutive traps that Fabien dealt with earlier to get into the chamber I mentioned earlier, the one with a secret passage. While she works on that, we also have Sanat run around the market square taking photos of people he hopefully has not yet photographed before. We're actually getting very close to completing the last photography skill challenge with him, and after completing the previous one, he can now take pictures for free. Uni, meanwhile, has squeezed through the hole in the wall and can now collect some treasures and investigate another suspicious wall section. And as she does, we hop back to our young photographer who is taking his last pictures at the Champ les Sims Nectary, and with that, it's done. No fanfare, but still, the paparazzi skill challenge has been completed as the 5th and final photography skill challenge. Now, technically, there is still more to do in regards to photography. As you can see here, there are still a decent number of collections we have not yet completed, and for some of them it would take quite a lot of effort to do so. Let me know in the comments if you want us to pursue this in the spirit of true completion, but be warned, things like the Best in Class collection require pictures of Sims at the top of various careers, and I have not yet figured out how to get those pictures without pursuing those careers with my own Sims, which would obviously take ages. For now, going by the rules established in the first Sims 3 series all those years ago, I consider the photography skill completed. Level 10 plus all skill challenges, that is enough. The collections would be an extra on top in case you want to see it. Now back to Uni, who has found a hidden wall switch behind the hidden door and now opens another hidden door, and with that the tomb is officially fully explored and stripped clean. That means we can teleport her back to the surface and go on another jog towards the next one. 2 more unmarked tombs remain here in Champ les Sims, but compared to this one they are both very short. They are also both located near the Forgotten Burial Mounds, where the first tomb we explored in the series was. We start with the one whose entrance is opened by standing on a camouflaged pressure plate. Heading into what is called the Smuggler's Cavern, we find a smashable boulder and an array of pushable statues. The key item here is the heart-shaped keystone in the center of them, but we can also move a few more to get access to the piles of ancient coins. We just need to be careful to push them all back into position afterwards, as they would otherwise activate some traps in the corridor ahead. Once all loot has been collected, we tell Sanat, who is helping Fabien on this adventure, to place the keystone that opens the door and find ourselves in the next chamber. Once again, plenty of loot to be collected and a dive well to explore. By the way, the already explored areas you can see, those belong to the Forgotten Burial Mound tomb that we explored back at the beginning of the series. Swimming through the underground tunnel, Sanat emerges in the chamber next to Fabien, where he can now grab another heart-shaped keystone as well as a valuable Dropa stone, and then smash his way back open to Fabien with Panku's axe. Up next, we place the keystone and open the door, and just like that, the tomb is already completed. We can now help ourselves to the loot inside and teleport William over here too, and this now marks his 6th tomb in Shawnley Sims, and with 6 tombs completed in all 3 travel destinations, he now officially completes the Great Explorer Lifetime Wish, the second of 8 new wishes we aim to complete in this series. Now, this tomb, of course, also has a unique sigil that we can take from this chest right here, before we then investigate a hidden door to gain lifetime happiness points and access to ancient coins and a sarcophagus that unfortunately does not hold anything good for Fabien. There is one last door on the other side here. Going through, we find ourselves faced by several rock piles. After destroying them and pushing the 2 statues here to the side, another secret passage opens up with more loot inside. And this time, the sarcophagus actually also spills some treasure. Now, time to head to bed for Fabien. Everyone else is already fast asleep, but it doesn't take long until old William is back up on his feet, and after a quick chat with nectary owner Corentin Laurent, he can teleport himself over to his fishing spot for more snails and crawfish. Uni begins the day with another jog, and actually times it nicely to join up with Fabien, who, after smashing another large boulder, unlocks the entry to the Maze of the High Ruler, the 3rd and final tomb inside the burial mound. While Uni already goes 1 level deeper, Fabien collects the early bits of treasure and then catches up with her, just as Uni clears a path to the original burial mound. You may remember this maze, but it actually has nothing to do with the tomb we're currently in. Now, before going down another level, we can investigate another suspicious wall section and jump over to Sanat, who collects his cut gems and smelted metals from the mail. We now have 1 heart-shaped cut gem of each kind and plenty of ingots. The 20 titanium ingots alone here would fetch a lovely price, but we're keeping them for ourselves for now. With a disappointingly small haul from the secret chamber collected, Sanat now joins Uni and Fabien for the rest of the tour. They head down and into another room full of statues. Pulling this one off of its platform and then standing on the revealed pressure plate clears the path onwards, just in time for William to also join us. He now has at least 10 frogs, 10 snails and 10 crawfish in his inventory, enough to stock a pond with. Moving on, the next chamber here is full of rock rubble that will take a while to clear, even with Panku's axe, so while Fabien gets to it, Uni and Sanat can spar a little bit, and William works on uncovering another secret passage. Plenty of loot beyond, as well as 2 holes in the floor. None of them unlock anything further though, they are just more hiding spots for valuables. A short moment later, Fabien has cleared all the rubble and can now grab what hides below. The most important bit is another heart-shaped keystone that eventually opens the door into the next chamber here. In this one, we need to navigate another maze of statues to get to the stairs on the right side of the room. The puzzle here is not too difficult to solve though, and so we can head down soon after. Here we can collect a nice assortment of nectar and then move towards the far end of the room to grab 2 more keystones. Unfortunately, there are traps along the way, and Fabien is a little careless. After waking up from his slumber, he then approaches the table again and sets off yet another trap. Eventually, we decide to teleport over to him with Uni to help out, but she lands right on top of a trap too. However, this brute force method does the trick just the same and reveals all traps in the corridor, so let's circumvent them to grab the keystones, head back upstairs, take a quick shower from the can to wash off the filth, and place one of the keystones in this panel on the side of the statue room. Doing so unlocks a secret passage that leads to a door for the second keystone we just collected. You can see Uni still downstairs, by the way, opening a hidden door in the wall. Fabien, William and Sanat meanwhile scavenge the next chamber for valuables. Plenty of them are hidden beneath more piles of rubble. In the room that Uni just uncovered, there are 2 sarcophagi, but thankfully no mummies inside, just precious loot. Once again then, the way onwards for the others is via a heart-shaped keystone that Fabien just grabbed, and we're nearing the end of the tomb. First of all though, we can take a valuable gargoyle statue from the treasure chest here. Then all 4 of our adventurers make their way into the tomb's final chamber. Each one earns 1,500 lifetime happiness points for completing the Maze of the High Ruler, and we can now help ourselves to the contents of 4 more sarcophagi. Apart from yet another heart-shaped keystone, however, there is nothing particularly special inside any of them. That keystone can then be used in this small adjacent chamber here to unlock one final treasure chest that reveals the tomb's unique sigil, and with that we are done, not just with this tomb, but with Sean Les Sims in general. The only thing left to do on this trip is to buy a vacation home to finally fulfill a wish for William and Fabien. Just like in Al Samhara previously, there are plenty of spots to choose from, but I think this plot of land here suits us nicely, large and with a fantastic view of the village below, and fairly affordable too. We will build something on it another time though. For now, let's have Fabien teleport back to the Nectary, grab the tent, and then we can return home. There truly is nothing more left to do for us here until we progress Fabien's quest further. And so here we are, with our 4 adventurers arriving back home in Riverview after a lengthy adventure in France, and with all of them gathering for an evening meal, I think we've reached a good point to make the cut. My apologies for putting this series somewhat on the back burner recently. Let me assure you, I am still very much enjoying this game, and I think we'll see a bit more Sims 3 in the upcoming weeks. Until then, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or become a channel member or Patreon supporter. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.